What's going on, Lake Pro Tackle fam? Guys, we're here in the shop. We got a big drop right now. So we've got a bunch of products. We're going to be talking about them in this video here. First off, I do want to mention that Orochi rods are now on sale. We've only got like 4 of them left at the moment. I think we got some launchers, braylist, perfect pitches. Those are reduced down to 230, so you're getting almost 25% off of normal retail, and I do believe once they are gone for good. So if you do love one of those products in there, or one of those models, I highly recommend you picking one up. Of course, we're going to be shipping them as the best we can, depending on where it's going. Might be PVC, might be just a normal tube, but we're going to do the best at packing it to the best of our ability. So, kicking it off, I do want to start off with these products right here. Now, I've gotten to use them for quite a bit. We met these guys over at ICAST this July. Ryan and Mick are super cool guys. Now, this is Cast fishing products. If you haven't heard of Cast, you're really going to start hearing about them here in the next few months, the next year. Guys, they are taking off, doing really cool stuff. Now, their products here are very unique when it comes down to the plastic itself and the way they, basically run the company. Now, they are, I guess, born out of the saltwater, so a lot of their products have an origin in the saltwater. And actually, I do want to start with this. This is what I'm starting on. This is the Cast OG. It is a floating top water / subsurface lure. So if you're familiar with a lot of the saltwater game, a lot of the stuff isn't purely top water. What's cool about this, the OG here, is you can find a couple videos out there on YouTube right now where people have extreme success targeting fish, not just with iScope, but with LifeScope as well. I know Mikey Balls has used this. I saw a video, I believe Ben Milliken was using one. It is gaining a lot of traction in the top water / subsurface category. So there's almost no wrong way to work this. You can work it like a traditional spook. You can work it like a you can almost reel it in. It's going to go on top, sink down just a little bit, pop back up. Great for triggering reaction strikes. Now, this color here currently is limited to the ones we have in the shop, as well as a couple other retailers. This is Bankroll, their newest color. We also have the collaboration between Cast and Big Bass Dreams' colors in the Down Under Popper, as well as the regular OG here. So this is the 20 gram we have here. We're planning on getting some new sizes. Again, floating lure, front swiveling hook hanger, which is really neat. Again, all this hardware is extremely strong as well. So Cast OG is gonna go fast. It is really cool, especially in this color. Going to be highly sought after, not just in the freshwater market, but I know people that fish salt will absolutely love that. Now, moving on to the soft plastic here. Let's start with the Swimbaits. That's what I'm probably most excited about this time of the year. As we are in the fall transition, fish are feeding extremely heavy on bait. So first up, this here is the Cast Prodigy Swimbait. We've got 3 different sizes and 3 different colors. What's cool about this bait here, this is the 6-inch version. This version is the only one that has a chamber set out in the middle of the bait to increase your hookup ratio and not just use so much plastic. So there is a little chamber here. You can put a beast hook in it. You can put a BKK Titan Rider hook or a Titan Driver hook. You can use a jig head if you want. There's still enough plastic in the head if you want to use just a big jig head and sink it down for striper. What's cool about the bait here is it's very unique. This 6-incher is very slender for the category. If you're comparing it to a mag draft, it is almost a third, about 40% thinner, I think, somewhere around there. And it swims very head wobbly. It has a great head hunting action as well, using very little plastic, yet durable plastic on the tail, and with a little bit of a bigger paddle tail, in my opinion. Since it's triangle shaped, it's not going to kick extremely hard from left to right. It's going to do more of an S motion, which is very subtle in the water. All their baits, soft plastics, come with rattles as well. This rattle is in the very top of the bait there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there. It is very pronounced. does make a big difference and will make a big difference in the water, especially if you're around a lot of bait. And you know, this bait here is got a great profile overall. This is going to be your just kind of standard big gizzard shad that those fish are going to be wanting to eat. Now, comparing it to something like a 6-inch mag draft, of course it's not going to have the the wider body, but I absolutely love the slender body. It keels extremely well. You can burn it in. It's not rolling out, even on a jig head. But I do highly recommend throwing this on like a weighted hook. So if I have any recommendations, I'm going to kind of put them down below here as well as in the description. So check those out. We've got 3 different colors in this. Blueback herring is number 1. We've got cider. And what's cool about the cider, guys, is all these baits here, they might look a little different through the camera, but when you hold them up to the light, trust me, they're going to look extremely, extremely good. For the clearest water, I definitely recommend the blueback herring. If you've got any tannic water like we do here in Texas or Louisiana or anywhere in the South, the cider is an excellent color. And then if you're fishing just kind of any water, you want to take these around, just go wherever. Casper is probably the one you want. Very similar to like a French pearl color, and it does lighten up extremely, extremely well. It's going to have a little more silhouette. It's a little darker, but it is going to work in any type of water, even some dirtier water as well. So these are the 6-inchers. We also have this one right here. This is going to be the 4.1 inch. That's right. 4.1 inch. Now, when it comes to scaling this bait, they did something a little bit different. It is actually almost the same width as the 6-incher. It's just a little bit smaller and also takes off a lot more of the length. So this one is going to be your more standard, think of like shad spawn, your standard shad that are going to be spawning. This is probably the size that you're looking for. You know, during shad spawn, I like to look for the bigger shad that are spawning at the moment rather than the really tiny itty bitty ones, which this guy right here is perfect for that. This is a 3-inch Prodigy swim bait. But the 4.1 inch, y'all, this is going to be your standard. You can throw it on a jig head. You can throw it on so many different rigs. You know, there's almost no wrong to fish this one either. If you can rig it up and it swims straight, it's going to be perfect. Throwing this on a hover rig with a nail weight in the bottom, you can do that as well. And the rattle in this one actually moves down to the bottom of the bait, which actually, in my opinion, helps it keel a little bit more. Again, you're going to get the same subtle head action and very, very good tail action as well. Same colors on those. And then the little baby 3-incher, you can drop shot these. You can throw them on a jig head. You can throw them on an A-rig. You can, you know, do so many different things, which I think is so awesome. So in terms of scaling, these two are very similar. No hook slot, but Casper has been crushing it for me lately. Throwing this on an A-rig and throwing this on a jig head just around bait fish, anywhere I'm finding the bait stacked up, this one is going to be one of my go-tos. So next up, we're moving to some of the more forward-facing style baits, and these are the Echoes. Now, the Echoes come in 2 different sizes. We've got this one here. I believe this is 5.4 inch, and then we also have this one right here, which is going to be a 3.5 inch. My numbers are all mixed up in my head at the moment, but 2 different sizes, y'all. We don't have cider in this color, but we do replace it with this one here, which is Ozark. If you're fishing anywhere with extremely clear water, this does work extremely well. No matter what your water color is, you know, to me, it's going to look violet purple, but it does have a little bit of a color shift. And when you hold it up to the light, kind of like the 6-inch, like Clearwater rose color, it's going to turn almost green, almost gray. So that purple turns a lot of gray, and then the whole body itself, since it does have a violet hue to it, it turns almost green, like green gizzard shaddy. So Ozark is really cool. Of course, we have blueback herring and Casper as well. What's cool about these is they have a little unique tail design. If you're familiar, again, with like something like the Sakamata shads, it has a flatter tail here while going straight into like a fluke style body. So you can throw this on a weightless fluke rig. You can throw this on a chatterbait. You can throw it on a spinnerbait. You can throw it on literally anything that needs like a fluke style trailer. Use it one and the same. You can also throw this on Demiki rig style baits. You can hover rig this with a nail weight. You can throw this many different ways, which is why I absolutely love these cast products, is that you can do whatever you want with them. The tail itself has a great side to side wobble, just reeling it in And then if you're Demiki rigging this, it has a great up-down wobble just because that tail is a little bit flatter on the backside here. So again, you're going to get so much great action out of this. I highly recommend you to try this on like a scrounger head or a chatterbait, especially near the bottom. These gizzard shad are feeding, or these gizzard shad are getting pinned to the bottom right now. If people are telling you to throw topwater, tell them just shut up. You know, topwater's fun and all, but to catch the biggest bass right now, they are keying in on the bigger gizzard shad on the bottom. That's how I'm catching so many fish at the moment. Here's a look at the Casper next to the Ozark, and then I also have the blueback herring right there. So if you're fishing a herring lake or you're fishing extremely clear reservoirs, I highly recommend you to try these out. These are pretty new. I mean, they're not extremely new, but trust me, to the market right now, the U.S. market, it is extremely new. Your fish probably have not seen these. So they do have rattles in them as well, which is really cool. Another cool aspect about them. I love this little one. It's so fun. Shad spawn, you throw it up on like a little Demiki head or something like that. Even throw this on like a flashback mini max, little tiny chatterbait. That is absolutely killer. If you need to add a little extra body to your spinner baits, your finesse spinner baits, that's a great one to do as well. It's not going to blow out any action at all. Moving on here, we got a restock. Got some Evergreen bow worms, green pumpkin, Mimizu, and dark plum. 3 of my favorite colors here. Trust me, y'all, it is like, it's one of the silliest looking things that I've ever thrown. I like throwing these on a weighted wacky head or throw these on a drop shot with a little tiny GP Finesse number 3 hook. It looks dumb, honestly, but it gets bit. If you throw it out there and let it sit, it is going to attract fish, especially if there's fish in the area, number 1. But number 2, you can throw it around docks. Works extremely well. You can throw it on heavier line. It doesn't have to be extremely light line. Now, it is an 8-inch worm, and it's very delicate, but trust me, it gets bit, and it is worth it. I've caught some massive fish on the bow worms at my home lake on Louisville, and I've caught a few, you know, in a bunch of different Metroplex lakes. So, moving on here, we've got a restock number 1 on Shimano Mastiff fluorocarbon. Got that in not too long ago, as well as these bad boys right here. These baits won the Bassmaster Elite event at Smith Lake, Takumi Ito. Throwing the Nories KO flip gill in a 3.6. Now, these were extremely hard to get our hands on because they were sold out for so long, but we do have them now in 4 different colors. You can go to the website, check them all out. Unfortunately, I can't really take these out of the packaging, but I can show you a little bit more up close. This is Tim's personal package. But the flip gill is very similar, I guess, in body shape to something like a bellows shad, but it has this little secondary action with the twin tails here. I think it is extremely cool how this is made, because it was made to flip. You know, you can put a flipping hook in this, an EWG style hook, throw it in wooded cover, drag it across the bottom, and it works perfect. The way Taku was using this was in conjunction with the G-Crack Neko Hack, or Neko Hack. Little tiny weight in this, and let it basically spiral down towards the bottom. The twin tails added a little bit of resistance in the water, which made it fall even slower, but it had this really cool spiral going down, and it is a very unique bait that I guarantee your fish haven't seen. If you want to throw a little bit heavier weight on this, it's going to sit on the bottom just like a feeding bluegill, or if you're around a lot of shad, I mean, it could definitely imitate a shad as well. A little bit taller profile, like I said, going to be more like a gizzard instead of a threadfin, but this is going to be absolutely killer. If you like to flip trees, this is going to be awesome. I guarantee you will catch fish on this guy right here. It is a fish catching machine. I have caught fish on the 5.4 or 5.3, depending, I forget what size the bigger one is, but we also got the medium size as well in the 4.5 inch, 4.5 inch, in all those colors. So we do have a couple more natural looking colors coming in right now. We've got Junebug, we've got Bluegill, which is very dark, and then we also have the Black Emerald. So we've got a bunch of darker colors. They still work extremely well, especially around docks. If you've got any shade, it's going to stand out in that water. But these are super cool. They have a little, like, fish formula to them. They smell a little different. Not quite G-Crack, not quite like a Fritos, but very, very similar. So guys, thank you so much, number one, for watching the video. Number two, we did get in contact with the giveaway winner for hitting 4,000 subscribers here, and I know we are already climbing extremely, extremely fast. We're on our way to 5,000, so thank you again so much for everyone who's watching, tuning into these videos. We just got to restock a Clutch Ecos not too long ago that I want to remind you of, and Clutch OG Swimbaits. So those are being put in the system as we speak. Abby's on the computer putting those in. We got a few new colors, I believe, as well, so definitely check those out on the website. And we'll see you next time at Lake Pro Tackle. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See ya.